Chevron, which has never operated in Ecuador, stands falsely accused of environmental and social harms in the country's Amazon region. Lacking facts or scientific evidence, the plaintiffs' lawyers resorted to public pressure and ultimately fraud. When the plaintiffs' experts failed to find evidence to support their claims, the lawyers simply made it up. And when the court wouldn't play ball, they turned to pressure and extortion.
The only language that I believe this judge is going to understand is one of pressure, intimidation, and humiliation.
Ultimately, the prevailing political winds aligned with their scheme, and the court rendered an $18 billion judgment against Chevron in Ecuador. All legitimate scientific evidence submitted during the course of the litigation proves Chevron stands wrongly accused. Plaintiffs' internal correspondence, depositions,
I did not reach this conclusion, and I did not write this report.
and outtakes from the movie Crude clearly demonstrate that their case is meritless and nothing more than an effort to extort money from Chevron and its shareholders. From the beginning, while scouring for plaintiffs, lawyers began by misleading the very person in whose name the suit was filed. In order to get her to sign her name, lawyers told Maria Aguinda she was signing a form to get medicine.
Después, en 4 meses, voy a volver. No ha vuelto en 4 meses, sino al año. Cuando Manuel Pallares y abogado Cristóbal Bonifaz lleguen acá diciendo de que usted es una demandante o juicio texaco. Ahí supo que ella había sido demandante.
Before joining the plaintiff's legal team, now lead Ecuadorian attorney Pablo Fajardo admitted Petroecuador was the liable party. Petroecuador has inflicted more damage than Texaco itself. But since it's a state-owned company, no one says a thing. Texaco's remediation was thorough and complete, something the plaintiff's own experts privately admitted when they couldn't find any evidence to support their claims. Expert Dave Russell emailed that his testing was self-defeating and counterproductive. And contamination was much more recent and thus caused by Petroecuador rather than Texaco. Another plaintiff's expert, Ann Maist of Stratus Consulting, admitted in a deposition her firm found no well water pollution.
Are you aware of any scientific data indicating that drinking water wells have been impacted in any way by TexPet's operations in the former concession area prior to 1990?
I'm not aware of any.
Plaintiff's lead attorney Stephen Donziger conceded in an outtake from the movie Crude that facts didn't really matter.
I once worked for a lawyer who said something I've never forgotten. He said, "Facts do not exist. Facts are created."
The plaintiff's team didn't stop at creating so-called facts. They secretly ghostwrote the damages report that should have been authored by the supposedly independent court-appointed environmental expert Richard Cabrera, and delivered bribes and hush money to Cabrera through a secret bank account. Donziger later admitted in a deposition that plaintiff's team, led by Stratus Consulting, ghostwrote the report that was filed unchanged by Cabrera.
When you say materials, we're talking about actual drafts of text which were then adopted verbatim in the Cabrera report, both in April and then again in November, correct?
Yes.
But that was not the end of plaintiff's fraudulent scheme. Not content with simply ghostwriting the damages report, they then turned to the judgment itself. Unrefuted evidence shows the $18 billion judgment also was ghostwritten and includes long passages copied word for word from the plaintiff's own internal and unfiled documents. The breakdown and ultimate failure of Ecuador's judiciary to administer justice forced Chevron to pursue relief outside of the country. In 2009, Chevron filed a request for arbitration stemming from the Ecuadorian court's failure to administer justice. The Permanent Court of Arbitration Tribunal hearing Chevron's claims has now twice ordered Ecuador to prevent enforcement and recognition of the fraudulently obtained judgment. The tribunal has also put Ecuador on notice that the Republic may ultimately be responsible for any monetary loss to Chevron from the plaintiff's lawyers' ongoing fraud. Chevron does not believe the Ecuador ruling is enforceable in any court that observes the rule of law, and continues to seek a dialogue with Ecuador to resolve the matter, an offer the country has so far declined. Nevertheless, Chevron remains committed to holding the plaintiff's lawyers accountable for their ongoing fraud.